G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is Queen Tested, video series in Fallout 76 where I attempt to kill Barbara Bratgirl and all of her friends during Scorched Earth using a specific legendary weapon. Today's weapon is going to be a Bloodied Gauss shotgun with 50% more limb damage as a secondary legendary effect. So we've seen this be an incredibly powerful option for mobbing, but how does it go versus a Queen? Well, it's actually pretty interesting how we do it, but yeah, it's a little bit unusual, the tactics that we use to get it done, but it gets it done fairly quick, especially for a shotgun. As you can tell, huge amount of damage there, and unfortunately this is not the one that I recorded on stream the other day whilst I was half drunk, so unfortunately that one's lost into the VOD shows up if I ever bother to upload that, so had to re-record this, but luckily for me I get a much better run and a much clearer, knowledge of what I actually need to do to bring the Scorched Beast Queen down quicker, so hopefully it'll be more informative, if not less enjoyable, due to me being a fucking drunken idiot. Anyways, so yeah, you've seen this thing's damage. We used about, I don't know, a couple of hundred rounds there. I didn't actually check. Here is the build. Obviously got all of the shotgunner perks and scatter shot to make them lighter and reload faster, which is nice. We've got concentrated fire and skeet shoot in here. VAT is going to be super important because I've noticed with VAT's weapons, if I shoot the Scorched Beasts with VATs, all of the projectiles will hit, which is nice, but it won't whiff. Like the projectiles, the damage will actually register, which is incredibly important for a Scorched Beast Queen because if you hit her without using VATs, you basically see no damage, so we're making good use out of the Demo Expert perk here, which, boosts the damage. We've also got Nerd Rage. Obviously, a Bloodied weapon is going to be down there in Nerd Rage, so we get Adrenal Reaction, Nerd Rage, and Bloodied all synergizing together to give us an impressive amount of damage. You saw it before. Serendipity is there for survivability. We'll be outside of power armor, so we're going to be squishy, and we're going to grab Bloody Mess for extra damage there. We've got Action Girl to make our AP come back faster. Evasive there for a tiny little bit of survivability. It's kind of negligible, but I didn't want anything like Dodgy, although the survivability benefits of Dodgy would have been better. I don't need a bunch of idiots shooting me and taking down my AP when I'm specifically going to use all of my AP for that shot against the Queen. Obviously, Adrenaline is really good for shooting stuff. And then gaining extra damage for 30 seconds up to maximum of 60%, which is quite a lot when you multiply 2,000 or 2,100 by 1.6, sorry. So yeah, we've also got Gun Fu, so if we target the wrong thing in VATS, we could probably just shoot it and then we can target something else very quickly. That's kind of how the build is going. Batteries included is there. Well, nothing else will help, but help us carry on the ammo, I guess. And we've got Fireproof and Lone Wanderer for a little bit more survivability. This one more against the Scorched Beast Queen's little sonic blast that she does from her mouth. That's helpful. And my gear is going to be all unyielding stuff. I've got the Shielded Marine Wetsuit, which gives you strength, but also gives you perception, which is good for base VATS accuracy. All of these are AP refresh, except for my legs. I've got an AP refresh leg somewhere, so I'm thinking I might replace them. There's a couple of, there's 3 out of 5 Sentinel pieces here, so that's pretty decent, but I don't make too much good use out of that during this fight at all. But yeah, that's kind of how it works. I've got some buffs and mutations. You've probably all seen them before. Anyways, we'll get started. This thing is going to crush her. Alrighty, we're about a minute from the nuke touching down here, so, before we get started on everything, I think I've spotted some cave crickets over here. Indeed I have, so, yeah, these guys need to go before we get started, so, if nothing else, we'll gather a little bit of adrenaline on these guys, and, it'll be one less thing for the Scorched Beast Queen to worry about. And that means we can have all the attention on us, which, we're not relying on sneak criticals anyway, but, making her land near us would be good because we need to be as close range as possible. And if we can lure that bat in, that would be nice. Probably going to pick up the Blight here pretty soon if the Scorched Beast Queen turns out to be on the disease side, but whatever. Those Sonic Blasts can do literally nothing against me. There's 2 Scorched Beasts that I need to kill. Make sure we aren't bothered by these guys. There we go. There goes one. So the game plan here is just to basically smash VATS as much as possible, because you saw when I shot that Scorched Beast there with and without VATS the massive difference between the damage. So there's Barbara, she's out already, And I feel like the ads are going to be quite a thorn in my side throughout this fight, so luckily we've got the power to deal with them pretty easily. Now unfortunately I can't use Enforcer to cripple her wings to force her to land on the ground, so that is why that is not equipped. But that allows us to do some stuff with Action Girl, which will help my AP come back faster. See, I need them to come in close, because even if they're flying like that, I mean, I can't one-shot them then, so, you know. Apparently, Barbara's not super interested in coming in, so we'll just continue to grab Adrenaline, and on the flyby, we'll take out her bat cooch, I guess, that was attached to her face, and if she's going to land, even better. Let's find her torso and just smash that for a little bit. Stealing Caution, good old unyielding armor, giving me the sneak powers here, and she's currently treadmilling. Didn't want to take too much more of that. Okay, alright, so far so good. We've got her to Mutation Station, and we are doing okay in terms of health. We might want to do Diluted right away. We're back into Caution, which is great news. Unfortunately, slightly out of range there, being penalized for being so far away. Good old Marsupial is doing well for us, and apparently she's not entirely focused on me anymore. I have noticed that she tends to, you know, I don't know, it tends to break her concentration. She'll go and focus on something else, and I'm pretty sure it's a bug. It's very strange behavior to, you know, have her completely focus on something else when you're conceivably the only one around. But so far, so good. We just need her to get our ass down here again. We'll continue to be swarmed with ads throughout this, but as you can tell, we can deal with them as they come along, as long as they're not at our feet causing us to jump all the time. There we go. Cheeky little flyby. I say no to that, and we've broke the shotgun. I've fired it too fast and I can't manually reload it. Looks like she's going to land though, which is good stuff. We'll just hit the torso, make sure we don't whiff anything, and I'll do a right away here. And then get stuck on a fucking wall. Yeah, just go stim pack, I reckon. Even with one rank of blocker, I still get one bang by her. So I'm thinking what I might want to do in the future is, wow, I've actually haven't spawned in the nuke zone here. What I might want to do in the future for this weapon is to just grab full unyielding AP refresh Sentinel and just kind of stand there when she gets the hits in. I feel like that would be an effective use of my armor and an effective counter to whatever she's doing. Quite a lot of nonsense happening right now. I might want to clear out the field just a little bit. Yeah, get you out of here. That's a damage over time thing. A Snallygaster, not a fan of. I saw my health there. I wasn't going to survive too much more of that shit. Alright, what have we got? Okay, she hasn't landed. That's okay. Honestly, she's more dangerous landed. So if she can just, you know, fly low like that, and you'll notice the rate of fire difference in first person. I'll just pop out of that as soon as possible. But yeah, if she's flying kind of low, enough where I can get into range to hit her with Marsupial, then we're laughing. Other than that though, yeah. So yeah, ironically, this is one of those moments where we don't want her to land. We want her to behave in a specific way, which will, you know, make her slightly harder to hit, but slightly out of range. It's interesting. And what you saw right there was I went back into hidden. Like, there's no excuse for losing me. I don't even have a suppressor on this thing. See, the Snallygases know where I am. Apparently that one wasn't scorched. It looked like it was scorched, and now we're being swarmed by ads again. Get out of here, Radroach. You're way out of your league, mate. Alrighto, creep up. Make sure we get slightly close enough, and go for it. See, having little bits of skeet shooter on is pretty decent because we're not whiffing a ton of attacks. And basically, we've got her right where we want her. I call that the stinger. You jump up like a scorpion tail and whack her with all manner of nonsense. Now those doggos will detect me, but, well, I'm not relying on stealth to do damage here, so I probably won't be complaining about that As long as little Miss Barbara over here doesn't actually put her ass on the ground, and apparently she's learned from the Scorched Beast Queen fight, she knows that's a death sentence, so being standoffish, not really working for you, is it, Barbara? Get out of here. And there we go, absolutely wiped the floor with it. I don't know if the time's going to be amazing, but you can do it pretty quick with a shotgun now. And the bottom line here is that shotgunner builds, although you've got, you know, all your points and strength here, you could just use heavy guns anyway. Well, if you don't want to use heavy guns, you don't want to be in power armor all the time, you can now kill it with a shotgun, provided you've grinded up the goddamn settler, I guess, reputation. That's not terrible, actually. To a point where you can grab this thing and had all the gold to buy all the parts for it. But yeah, it's an incredibly good weapon, and it's really good. And like I was talking about before, the Gauss pistol and the Gauss shotgun set themselves apart from the Gauss minigun because, well, they're not already inferior to endgame weapons that were already in the vanilla game. So really impressed, really good shotgun. Would still highly recommend this thing. And yeah, Queen tactics are a little bit different than normal, but that's okay because I'm usually doing the same shit all the time anyway. So not having a suppressor and making her fly around and not land all the time, that's not how I expect to kill her, but that's kind of how you make it as easy as it gets. And yeah, Bloodied Crippling shotgun with a prime receiver will kill a queen very quickly. Thank you very much for watching, guys.